Hey guys, it's your boy Wolfie. Now, the 9.5 update notes just went up, and I thought it would be a good time to go over it. No, this doesn't mean I'm coming back to the game, but I would like to still report on everything that's going on and give my opinion to what the game is. The fact of the matter is, we've played the game for a long time, and it still has a place in my heart. You know how it is. We're just gonna go over this real quick and see what my opinion on the patch notes are, right? So yeah, they got the cool skins and everything. That's fantastic. Love it. High Res always has good skins. We know how that goes. Kudos to them. Love them. Awesome. Right? New events. Cool. These are great for casuals. Awesome. Fantastic. You're going to be able to play the old school Smite map again. Personally, probably the thing that I miss the most about the old Smite map is kind of the little fire giant cave, man. I kind of remember back in the day when we used to play this and less characters had leaps, there wasn't a blink, and this was actually like could be a death sentence or could win you the entire game. Just having one little opener and most characters can't go over the side. You can wipe entire teams because there was no way out, or you can stop them from ever coming in to like try and stop you from taking the fire giant. Characters like Ymir were nuts. I'm not opposed to this. It's pretty cool. I don't really think people are gonna like this map as much as they think they do, but I do think it'll be fun, especially to play it out for a little bit. Show people what we used to play on. Yada yada yada. More quality of life changes, etc., etc. Now, let's go into what's gonna actually change in the game. Right, so they're making obelisks less effective. They're making them take longer. They're gonna reward you less, and I'm pretty sure they're changing the buff entirely. They're even gonna change what you get, what you have to kill to get the offerings, which personally I think is probably a good thing. I do like the trebuchet idea that there's a new minion coming into the lane that will be different, that is new, which is pretty cool. This is a little bit more interesting than just having a fire wave. I like this idea. I also like this idea over the old obelisk buff. This is actually a little bit different than just damage over time. I like this. This is cool. This is a good change. I think this is fantastic. This is something that has been a problem in the current season. The thing with this is it looks like they're trying to slow down the game. The problem with high res is that they often nerf everything at the same time instead of, so they overshoot a lot. They kind of, what I like to say is they balance with a sledgehammer. They take the whole wall down whenever they want to do something. So just from my experience, what I think is going to happen is they're going to lower down the XP across the board. You're going to have less XP given the jungle, etc. I got a big feeling this is what's gonna happen. And you know what? Honestly, in my opinion, that's probably the right way to go. But I got a feeling that this patch is gonna overshoot it. I haven't played the patch yet, so it is what it is. From hearing from people who have played it, it does feel really slow. And yeah, we're just gonna go. We're gonna keep looking at changes. I didn't really see any of these changes, so let's go in. Let's go in. The late initial spawn, buff can't not spawn at 10 seconds, yada yada yada. Sensor mini. Yeah, they're lengthening respawn timers, which is going to lower the amount of golden XP that you get. I think that is a good thing. I think this is a fantastic thing. This is really nice because this will not only alleviate the snowball from both these changes, but it'll also alleviate how much you lose when you die. Because since there's going to be less jungle camps, losing is going to feel less bad, but it is going to be harder to catch up. So there are negatives on both sides. If you fall behind and you somewhat catch a little bit of a lead, it's going to be a little bit harder to make up the difference because these minions are going to be up less often. You're going to run into more situations where you get a kill and buffs are almost up. They're not up yet. So I think these are good changes. I think slowing down the pace of the game is the right thing. I think we power crept to a position that bring us back to earth is probably a good thing. And I would almost prefer they over nerf it just so we can get a fresh start. Because if the game power creeps too fast, then people just don't want to play it anymore. And if it power creeps too fast again, they're just going to have to do another one of these patches sooner rather than later. And personally, my favorite portions of this game is when the game had way less damage than what it is right now. I personally prefer Season 2 and Season 1, not because we didn't know the mechanics, but just because time to kill was way longer and fights felt a little more cinematic, in my opinion. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my opinion on it. I think a lot of people agree with me. We'll see how it goes. I like this because you never had time to kill both, so they're kind of just putting it together. I kind of had this idea too. I like this. Lane minions, everything is getting buffed. They're trying to slow down how fast you kill waves. This is fantastic. This is the same thing that I said that I wish happened. I think you clear lanes too fast. I think minions die too early. I think you can fully clear waves at too early of a level. I think this is fantastic. I've always said the way to stop a lot of the farm and the way to make it so that there's a little more punishment for stuff is make people have to commit to their lane for a longer period of time. The problem that I think in the game right now is there's too much time in between clearing waves. You hit the wave once, it's dead, you move on to a buff. You have enough time to leave that lane, clear a buff, and come back before the next wave meets. I think that's a bad thing. If you are going to leave your lane to clear a buff, there should be a negative for you. I also think that the jungle should mainly be the jungle. I also feel like people should actually need help to clear their buffs. I think these buffs should probably be stronger, and that the only way you should be able to kill these buffs is if you have a jungle buff. And I think the jungle item, and I even think the jungle item should be useless in lane. I don't know. There's a lot of things that would go through my head that I think should happen, but I'm not going to force my opinion on it. But I think this is a solid change. I think this is going the right direction. Again, it's probably going to get overshot. It's probably not going to feel exactly good right now. But I really feel like this patch just seems to be like an infrastructure patch. Just from like looking at everything, this is looking like the framework of a house. They don't have the electricity and it looks like they're setting us up. I can tell just by looking at the stuff now that everything is gonna get nerfed, and I know this patch is gonna feel probably off. I got a feeling. But these patches are important, and they're important to be open-ended because it allows the developers to adjust the game based on feedback. I would so much rather that this happen rather than them just randomly put us back into the same situation. At least when you see changes like this, you know that they're dedicated to actually fixing the meta, and in terms of at least balance and enjoyability and accessibility, etc. So when you see changes like this, even if the game isn't at your standard, at least you have the confidence that they're going to go back and adjust the game, so you have something to look forward to. But yeah, warning, this might completely change the way you play games. Oh my goodness, they are up. Yeah, you are not gonna want to do red buff by yourself as a mid laner. Holy crap. This might have actually did what I was complaining about. Damn. Okay. I'm not opposed. I want to see how this turns out. I might even play on the PTS to try it out. I ain't playing on stream though. Screw y'all. Okay. Yep. It's just across the board. I like this because this is starting to make it more risky to go for buff camps, especially since everything is getting nerfed. Oh, this is going to slow down the game a lot. It's going to slow down the game even more because you're not going to be able to take as many camps in between waves. This is massive changes. I also personally don't think people should be afraid of like the game lasting a little longer. I personally think we get to full 6 items too fast. I think games end too fast. I think they should probably extend the game a little more. I think people like personally, with the way the game is right now, people still want to farm. They don't even know that it's time to group up yet. I remember actually playing a Smite game and I was just like, oh man, it's 20 minutes. We should be grouping up. I didn't even notice. It doesn't even feel natural yet. I think it does move a little too fast. So I'm actually a big fan of those changes, and I think slowing it down is the right thing. Tier 1 taxi. I'm not a big fan of these, but I get why they're being added. We'll go over this in a second, but they're basically just trying to make the towers relative to everything else. Since there is so much more damage in the game, there is so much tanky stats in the game, there is so much everything else in the game, they're trying to make the game feel a little bit closer to what it used to feel like back in the day without actually nerfing everything. So they still want you to hit for 2,000 on a single ability. They just don't want that 2,000 to actually melt or one-shot a tower and other stuff. So this is pretty cool. I like it. This is nice. So finally, supports and other frontline are going to be encouraged to actually have to build magic protection. This is the real reason why magic protection sucks. This is the real reason why playing a physical comp feels bad, because physical just stops all damage. I would even like to see like maybe towers or phoenixes or something do partial magic damage. I wouldn't even mind if it cuts the attack damage in half and makes half of it physical and half of it magical. So people would have to build the other one also. Like this change. It's gonna feel bad for tanks. I agree. That's okay. Sometimes you gotta take a little bit of a negative. That's just the tank life. It is what it is. Use your face to tank some stuff. Like it. Again, more magical damage than a physical. Like it. Good. These are just for the other game modes. I get it. I really didn't think we were going to get more nerfs. On items. But okay. I see why. I agree. They're definitely attacking a lot of the hybrid items. I understand why. It's because these items are not only good for warriors, but they're also good for assassins. This is probably healthy for the game. Oh, thank God. I said that when I first saw these changes. I was like, please put these back. Oh, thank God those are back. I actually like that change. I'm not opposed to these. I don't really like the hybrid items. I think the hybrid items cause more problems than they fix. Sure, they're fun when you're winning, but they feel really bad when you're not winning. And I really feel like it's extremely important for the game to be fun to play even while losing. And I think it should be fun to like. I think you should actually have choices. I don't think that having items that give you so much protection should also give you magic power and all the other stuff on top of it too. I think you should actually have to sacrifice something to get an item that's hybrid. If you want to survive, you buy a tank item. If you want to do some damage, and you have to sacrifice some tankiness. I like these. I don't know if the numbers are going to be good enough. I don't know if it's going to hit the mark, but I can tell just by looking at these changes what they're trying to do, and I can say that I like the direction at which it's going. Again, this game had way too much damage, and bringing this in line is probably a good thing. Notice how this didn't nerf the actual damage items, and it didn't nerf the actual just tank items that was in the patch before. This is nice. I've been preaching for this for a very long time. Now, these numbers might be too high, or they might be too low. We don't know, but this is good. This is good. This should stop people from getting one shot at all points in the game. I don't know if it's going to stop them at late game, but it should feel a little bit better. I understand that what I'm going to see is I'm going to see a lot of people complaining about skill being dropped, there being no kills or whatever. And I need to bring up this point again. This game is very hard. This game's skill floor is very high. And new players are having a hard time enjoying the game. Now, I'm sure it feels great when you're an SPL player, you're a 3500 MMR player, and you outplay the person that you're against, and the game is just remorseless against that person that you're beating. But it's not fun for them to play. And I think a big problem with Smite is that we're neglecting what's fun to play for the vast majority of people that are playing the game, and are only really caring about how good it feels for the top end. And I think that's been something that's been happening a lot in Smite. And I also hear those opinions parroted by people from the community that I know aren't good enough to really say those kind of opinions. It is what it is. But I think this is overall a good thing. I think that right now one of the bigger issues in Smite is making the game easier and accessible for newer players, and making the game an enjoyable learning experience. Let me rephrase that. An enjoyable learning experience. I keep running into people that say if people want to learn the game, they'll learn it, they'll deal with it. They just don't want to learn. If the game's not fun to play, they're not going to learn it. If they die in one hit and they have no idea why they died and they had no way to learn from what they died, or the engagement was just too fast for them to recognize what happens, they're probably going to quit the game and drop it, bro. It just is what it is. In the end of the day, the upper echelon of Smite players are the minority of players. They're not the majority of players. And I'm pretty sure they have to cater to what the majority of the player base is first. Obviously, they have to cater to the upper echelon of players on the extreme end of the game, and it has to be fun, competitive, and they have to do all other nonsense. But I hold firm that video games should be fun first before we care about the competitive aspect, even in a competitive game like Smite. If the game is fun, you will have a competitive scene. They force competitive scenes all the time. So I like this change. I think this is great. I think this is fantastic. I'm very tired of seeing people die in the first wave every single time because you got a little bit of an advantage. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of every single game. Sure, there's probably going to be less kills. Oh no, the number is overall smaller. We're not going to see people actually die. So it's arbitrarily boring now just because there's the kill death hasn't gone up. I don't know. I've never valued the kill death when I look at games. I like looking at the game overall, but that's just my opinion. If you guys don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. Yada, yada, yada. All these things are changing. Like it. Cool. Couple of changes. About time. This character's not going to have pay to win skins anymore. Thank goodness. I don't know why we're buffing Serket, but okay. She's not meta for a short period of time. Okay. Yeah, Thor needed to be fixed after that CCR change. Shibalanke buffs. I don't know why people think he's still bad. I would never want him back in the meta. Rama buffs. Okay, he did kind of have a hard time coming back in. Neja also got bug fixes and some buffs. That's good for him. We didn't have Hercules for like 2 days, and now they want Hercules back in the game. Screw this character. Terra buffs. This is a scary character to buff. Not that I'm playing the game anymore, but this is a character that literally when she becomes good, she kind of dominates the game. So I think I need to be careful on that one. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. Man, the problem with Baba is that she feels bad to play. Her buttons just don't feel like responsive. It feels weird. It feels clunky. It's just not fun to play. Sure, this might be what they want her to be like, but they're constantly buffing her, and I don't even think she's a bad character anymore. I think people just don't enjoy the character. I think at some point you need to put the ego away and just figure out that people don't like Baba Yaga, and she probably needs a change. Pele buffs. She's probably going to need it. She's a burst assassin, and the meta that burst is getting nerfed, so she's probably going to need this. But she can also be played as tanky DPS, so I mean, she might be able to find a way in the spot. Thank goodness. This character was literally nuts because of this. This is still probably too high, but holy, this character literally just became a support because she just has everything a support wants. She's probably the best mage support in the game and the only mage support that I have supported. Nox is she has her ifs and that, but like Iset literally doesn't have a weakness of, besides she's a little bit squishier, she has so much more utility. Solid support character. Gilgamesh still getting nerfs. His kit is just so good. He's probably gonna get so many more nerfs until he's useless, and then he's gonna get buffed just like Serket does constantly. His kit is just perfect. His kit just it's so good that like they're just gonna have to make him horrendous for him not to be meta. That's how good his kit is. It's kind of disgusting. RDO changes. Screw this character, too strong. This is probably good. This should have been 6 seconds at the beginning, probably even longer than this. Zeus changes. Yeah, he's probably gonna be better. Yeah, he actually, this is a good change because whenever you nerf damage, Zeus goes up in the pick ban rate, because he is a monster when it comes to damage. So if you're lowering overall damage, you also have to nerf Zeus because he just immediately becomes better based on if other people don't do damage. So that's it for the patch. Overall, I think it's a good patch. I think people are going to enjoy it, and I think it's good for the game. I even think that the game is probably going to be messed up for a few weeks or months until they get the proper data in to fix the game to their liking. What does this mean for me? I'm not coming back to Smite. I think I'm going to enjoy just reporting on the news and the stuff like that for the game and keeping up with the game, because I still care about the people who play the game. I still like the developers and stuff like that. I just can't bring myself to play anymore, but I do hope the best for the game. You guys know how it is. In the end of the day, this patch isn't going to fix my problems with the game, unfortunately. My problems with the game are more based on the game itself. The engine really needs to get updated. The servers still fucking suck. And the matchmaking is still horrendous. And a lot of these things don't even get acknowledged. And there's a lot of quality of life things that just don't happen on the game itself. And that's going to keep me from playing the game. Do I think I would ever play the game again? Sure. But right now I'm just completely burnt out. And I don't think I'm ever going back to streaming it as my main source of income. If I do come back, I'll play it a couple nights. I'll play it with some friends. Maybe we'll play with some viewers. Maybe we'll do like a PTS at some point or something like that. But I'm done playing the game like I used to. It is what it is. I will keep updating on the news and stuff, though. I'm going to keep y'all with some of that YouTube content. If y'all enjoyed the video, let me know. If you guys want me to keep doing these little insights and patch notes reviews or anything for the game, let me know. I'll probably still do some stuff on YouTube, but the streaming part is done for me. Anyway, you guys have a good one. If you guys enjoyed the video, please follow. If you really enjoyed the video, please hit that little notification bell. You know what I'm saying. Come back later, drop a comment, let me know how you guys feel. Give me your opinion. I'm going to see y'all later. Deuces.